Okay, it's late, it's late, it's late, it's late, it's late. I know. Technical difficulties. I'd blame gremlins, but I think it's the cats because cats are evil and they're rampaging through my house. But technical difficulties, which I will explain in a moment. This is going to be a short one in a moment. So as I said, technical difficulties. What's happening is I'm trying to, I've commented before about how, and as you guys probably, anybody who's here today, hi, if you listened to last week's episode, there were big blank spots. I have been having progressively more intrusive technical difficulties every week, and it's been partially because I've been trying to band-aid up the situation instead of actually fix it, because part of it was memory on my computer being allocated in weird places. Part of it is programs that are wonderful programs. Nothing against these programs. I've been using them. They do great things. Unfortunately, they don't like working with each other. And so I think that's causing conflicts. And then other little brilliant moments, like I've got myself a microphone now for the podcast, which I'm not using right now because I have to figure out how to integrate it into the system without causing all those conflicts. Long and short of it is technical difficulties all have to be fixed, or else you get more problems down the line. And I want last week's episode to be the worst of the technical difficulties. Okay, that ending part. For a moment, I thought it was just actually freezing because I was listening to the audio part, and I thought it was just freezing for a minute or two, because when I picked back up, I'm like, well, maybe that's what I said right after that. But the end, there's a whole big chunk at the end that's just gone, and suddenly I'm like going, well, next week, da 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 da. And there's stuff that I got from Patrick of Scream Queens that I put in there, and some stuff about like comic book characters and angry black comic book characters with afros, because that's what they had, and all gone. So this is going to be a short one because I unfortunately my work is like being really busy right now, plus we had a whole bunch of stuff come up, so I have not had chance to truly finish working out all the kinks that are in my computer right now. And yay, any of you watching get to watch me scratch my nose. Yay, yay. Snatch. I snatch? Okay, snatch game. We'll talk about that maybe later. But so I'm just gonna roll right through this as best as I can. I want to make sure that I get out there and then, oh, by the way, bon dia, boa tarde, boa noche, whichever one it is, como vai você? Espero que tudo bem. Really, sorry. Anyone who's listening in Spanish, same thing. It sounds almost the same. You know. So hi. I'm a little rushing because I meant to get this done earlier today, but I had to give one of the cats a bath because Corn, who should be probably known as Mr. Poopy Pants, doesn't like cleaning his tail area sometimes, and it was a mess and it was gross and disgusting, and I had to give him a bath, which he was complaining about, of course, very loudly. And then, of course, I now have cat bath water all over my hands. So I have to go take a shower myself and start up the laundry for all the towels that I just used. And then I had to go say hi to Corn after that because you know, he thought he was in trouble because I gave him a bath, and it's like, no, you're not in trouble, come here. And then after that, he's like going, oh, you like me, meow, 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 and following me around. So this is getting done about an hour later than I meant to do. And that's an important hour, especially if I wanted to watch a movie before going to work. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, anyway, hope everyone's doing really well right now. This was going to be a shortened episode anyway this week. Oh, I do want to make a little announcement before we go any further. There will be somewhat of a change of format. Already, I'm sure anyone who's been listening has kind of noticed that things are evolving. And it will continue to evolve for a little while, even though I think we're getting to where we're getting the voice and everything that this is going to be, which means I kind of have to redo the description of the show. But yeah. As far as there is a major change that's going to happen though, as far as format, and it's not as far as content, it's as far as the format itself. This is probably going to be the last of the short episodes. No, sorry. There will continue to be short episodes, long episodes, short episodes, long episodes. Short episodes will probably be just me rambling about whatever that I've found during the week or whatever. Long episodes will be more themed. Like next week's, which actually will be this weekend, if I can get my computer all straightened out. I still intend on focusing on Superman. Okay, there's just a whole bunch of Superman stuff you can talk about, and I have a cat that's Streaky Zor-El's, the Super Kitty, and she has a cape even, so of course I'm going to talk about Superman. The long episodes that are themed will probably no longer be available on YouTube. They just require too much processing, too much memory. And then people complain about how long they are on YouTube anyway, and I understand that because it is suddenly a long episode on YouTube. I'm going to continue to make the shorter episodes available on YouTube. By shorter, I mean however long it takes for me to get through, so it's going to be probably, not counting this one, which actually maybe counting this one, probably between 30 to 45 minutes. As compared to the long episodes, which could run an hour or more. I welcome everybody to continue listening to every episode, please, please, please. But for the longer episodes that'll be happening every other week, starting this weekend, those will be available only on audio podcast at my at the audio website. I'm probably not aiming to try to put this up on iTunes by the end of this month, since I only have a couple days. And the technical difficulties need to be ironed out before I do anything that radical. So, my hair is lopsided. This is what happens when you just come and do these things without, like, come straight out of a shower, start doing a podcast, and you don't pay attention to the fact that your hair is lopsided. You realize during the podcast your hair is lopsided. But that has nothing to do with the format of the show. Like I said, the audio podcast will be available every week. The next video podcast will be in 2 weeks. So not this upcoming weekend, which will be March 2nd, 3rd, that weekend-ish time. It'll be the weekend after that, closer to like the 10th. Or whatever day that happens to be, because I don't have a calendar in front of me and I'm not going to open one up. So just want to let everyone know that. I thank everyone for watching the audio or video, listening to the audio, but I do need to figure out how to make this so we have less technical difficulties, and I think that will help out with that. It'll make it easier for me to get everything out on time with less processing having to go on, because the video podcast just requires so much processing and it takes so long for me to get them going. Again, even with me having just bought a microphone that I'm not using yet, this is still the cheapest podcast probably in existence, and so I'm piecing together equipment, good equipment, but still piecing it together, and some of this stuff, like for the video, just takes a while. So, that said, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this week. Um, 10-hour weeks at work, or 10-hour shifts at work. Yay, still doing the new job. It's hectic. Um, Everyone else is kind of like going, "Oh, it's been nice and steady today," and I'm like going, "No, it's been flippin' busy today. You just don't realize it because I'm the guy who's putting all the work out for all 8 of you, as compared to having 8 people's work spread out between 8 people. I have to deal out with that 8 people's work right away. So, um, cats are doing well. Joseph's doing okay. He had a job interview, um, for a DD home type thing. I hope he gets the intake job. I think that would actually best suit him. But he does have a good personality for helping people out and everything. He likes doing that, so he's not a selfish bastard like me who still stuck around with it for doing behavioral health work for 6 years, even though he was, or 8 years, even though he was flippin' burned out on that stuff after about a week. The gay shows. Okay, there we go. That's my segue for that. RuPaul's Drag Race. Glad to see both of those girls go. They just needed to go. Glad to see this week's girl go. She needed to go. She was boring. Although she does, the latest one that went home was the one for the was the Puerto Rican one, and this just strengthens my idea that they need to maybe think about having a RuPaul's Drag Race Latin All Stars or something like that, because then there'd be no excuse for the language thing, because that actually became an issue with some of the other queens, whether or not she really couldn't understand them or if she just played it when it suited her best. So do a Latin one. They have had some that honestly, the language barrier has been an issue, clearly, and that would make it to where it's they're all playing on the same playing field. Um, very, I'm very tired of the whole oh, what's it, Coco and Anissa or Elisa or whatever thing. Coco's a drama queen who is willing to make like heavily dramatic mountains out of like what the fuck molehills, and Elisa is just a liar. Okay, or maybe not a liar, but she is working her hardest to make sure that the situation never gets put out the way it is. And plus, she did spend this week making all the arguments that involved her, that she was like going, "Hey, I was just kidding." She's the one who created those arguments. Okay, so that said, glad to see Roxy came back strong. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta watch for Snatch Game this week. I had no idea who Roxy was playing because I don't watch that reality show with the Braxtons, but apparently she was good at it, and she was entertaining even with me not knowing what the character was. And then another one played Little Edie. That was magical, magical, magical. She won and deserved to win because her part was just incredible. Go Roxy. And Alaska, you're still boring me. So, what other of my gay shows do I have? I don't think I have really anything that struck me this week. Glee, I don't think I watched this week, and I can't recall anything special about Smash. Project Runway was just a boring team up. Yeah, really boring this week. If you get a chance, watch Face Off. That's not really a gay show, but it does involve makeup, so I've seen drag queens that wear less makeup than what they put on these people, but that's a good show. So maybe I'll start talking about that next week, but I want to just barrel into everything else. And barrel is not the right word. I don't know what the right word is, but you know what I mean. Did pick up a couple little bits of tidbits of news. Really? That's where I'm gonna go with that? Okay. next season on American Horror Story, Jessica Lange, we pretty much already knew was going to be there next season. We knew right away that she had signed on. But Kathy Bates is supposed to be on there, so we now have someone who can challenge her for like commanding screen time on that show. Because I don't care. The rest of the cast have been really good. Don't get me wrong. Jessica Lange owns that show anytime she comes on the screen. Even when her character is doing something nonsensical and stupid, Jessica Lange owns that show. Kathy Bates, fantastic actress. Kathy Bates will be able to challenge her for owning. It would be as if Patrick Stewart played the Master on Doctor Who to Malcolm McDowell's Doctor. And we would just have epic Gallifreyan scene chewery. I still actually think that would be great. It'll never happen, because come on, it's Patrick Stewart and Malcolm McDowell. They have better things to do. But, oh my god. This will probably be the closest I'll get to something that epic, is Jessica Lange and Kathy Bates on American Horror Story, which means that next season doesn't even matter if it sucks like this season did. It'll be entertaining to watch them. Yay! Apparently, in Britain, they've decided, or they're arguing, that whole, if you're gay or gay friendly or whatever, you get to hear the LGBT thing, which they just keep on adding letters to try to make it more inclusive, and it just becomes ridiculous. I don't even know what we're up to. I think it's like LGBTQQA. What's the other one? Seems like there's one more letter, because I think it's gone up to 8. It's like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, queer, allies, and something else. Oh, asexual. Or something along those lines. There's that too in there. So it's just become like this big alphabet stew that's just too much of an issue to deal with, and we should just call everyone, like, if we're just going to go that route, just make up a word. In England, they are trying to come up with a new term, which would be shorter, less letters, and more inclusive. GSD. Apparently it stands for Gender and Sexual Diversities. It's an improvement in a way, just because it gets rid of all those letters. It just suddenly, I understand the idea of wanting to be more inclusive, and titles are so important because we need titles in order to talk about things. But gender and sexual diversities just sounds really, really vague. Okay, if you're going to go with gender and sexual diversities, you might as well just say people. Okay, because what one person considers normal, another person will consider sexually diverse. And gender and sexual diversities doesn't actually tell me anything. At the same time, I'm in favor of anything that gets rid of all the extra crap of letters, so yay, GSD! And on a similar note, which I may actually go into in depth one day if I decide to have like a significant rant, there is a fraternity in Boston, the Phi Alpha Tau fraternity at Emerson College, that are actually trying to raise money for one of their pledges to complete their transgender surgery from female to male. This is just a fantastically sweet story. This is not something you would normally expect out of fraternities or, typically macho things like football and all that. Football teams and especially individual players have started coming out, not out, but coming out in favor and against discrimination and stuff like that. And it's nice to see fraternities doing the same thing. I honestly think that the more people get to know each other the more we're going to see that a lot of this bigotry and just blind prejudice really is exactly that. It's blind. Okay, knowing someone and realizing that they love just the same way you love, they just love someone else, really helps things. Or in this case, realizing that just because he started out as a girl doesn't mean that he's not a boy now, and helping out to do this is just a great thing. If you want, you can, I don't know if they're actually doing fundraising that people can donate to. I would recommend doing like a Google search for Phi Alpha Tau of Emerson College, and then maybe toss in the word trans. See whether or not there is a fundraiser if you would like to help out with that. It's just an incredibly sweet story. And the reason why you may get to hear me kind of come back to this someday if I decide to go on a rant is because this is more, there's this whole anti-bullying campaign, especially gay-centric as far as I can tell, where they talk about, it's the whole It Gets Better campaign, which, well-intentioned, sweet, loves the fact that people are putting effort into it, don't give it up, even though I think it's half-assed. It's because I don't believe it gets better. I believe you make it better. Okay? You can't just count on time making everything better. People will make things better. This is a fraternity that is making things better, not just some mysterious it that makes things better. And so I'm actually very much I don't like the phrasing "it gets better." And I can sometimes it can hit me just the wrong way depending on how someone words the rest of their "it gets better" speech, and it can actually really annoy me because it doesn't get better. Okay? It doesn't. You get better, you make it better. We all make it better. That's what we're all supposed to be going towards. Okay? Yes, there are people who will fight against it. There are people who are just stupid for a while in their lives. You know, teen bullying, a lot of times those are just people who are stupid for a little time in their life. They do grow out of it. In the meantime, everyone else should be making it better. And you should realize who you are and make it better for yourself as much as possible. Okay? I can go... had a big discussion last night with a coworker at work about prejudice and bigotry and bullying and stuff like that. And I can tell you that no one else made my life better, or no mysterious it made my life better. It was me. It was those who love me. They're the ones that made my life better. Okay? They helped me realize that I can be who I am, and I realized I can be who I am, and that right there made it better. It made it to where it didn't matter what someone else said about me. I knew who I was and who I was to be. So, that's the beginning of a rant that will most likely come back some other day. Interesting thing, Doctor Who, yay! There is an interview that's supposed to be coming out soon for Jon Pertwee. He was the third Doctor, was Doctor Who for 5 years. Very earthbound for a long time. I mean, matter of fact, very earthbound. His adventures took place mostly on Earth because the Gallifreyan Council told him, you're on Earth. He had a car, Bessie. He's the first one to be with Sarah Jane. He wore the frilly opera outfit and the big poofy hair. He was a comic actor who played actually one of the more straight Doctor Who's you'll ever see. His Doctor Who was also somewhat physical. Venusian Kung Fu or whatever, which was always kind of funny because it was done in bad 70s TV show stuntman stuff. And he was doing it himself, But it was really, you're like, oh, really? That's going to take someone down? Because I think I could dodge that even if you tied me up. But he probably could have done much better, because one of the things that is being talked about in this interview that is finally coming to light is that he was a wartime agent. Okay, he reported directly to Winston Churchill. He went on high-risk missions with gadgetry like James Bond. Matter of fact, he knew Ian Fleming, and Ian Fleming's one of the ones that helped him get his missions. He was quiet about it for a long time because a lot of the stuff was top secret, and he didn't know really how much he could say. Which I know that sounds like, well, if you're in it, you probably know. But if you're in it, you know how that goes. You know that there comes a point where, even though I'm sworn to secrecy, but they say I can do it, and there's so many years that have gone by, and da-da-da-da, I don't know which of the stuff I can still mention. So it's supposed to be coming out. The interview is supposed to be coming out on. I don't know if it's coming out on a DVD or something, but they're releasing it soon, and I'm sure it'll be quite fascinating. And I think that leads to why his doctor was a little bit more physical than the other doctors. And I think it also will be a fascinating, because he was I've heard other interviews, and he was a very delightful interview, much like many of the doctors. And I think this will help people who have difficulty with his doctor, because I think his is one of the more difficult doctors, even though his is not the most despised doctor. Poor Colin Baker. His doctor, I think some people have difficulty getting into because he is so earthbound, and his character is so straightforward, and he clearly doesn't want to be on Earth. He's just trying to get off the planet for like the first season of his doctor, and I think it takes a little bit to warm up, and it really helps if you watch the right story to begin with. Like the very first adventure with him is a good one, but I think listening to him helps a person realize where things were at that time in the show. Realize that show, even at its height, was always like, one serial away from being canceled. It was constantly trying to fix itself. So, hey, even when it was making great ratings, they still always threatened it with cancellation. So, look for that to come out. This year also we're looking at the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. They're already starting to put out stuff like, what is it? There's an audio adventure that Big Finish does audio adventures for the Doctor, and there's one that's coming out called The Light at the End, which features many of the Doctors in it. It kind of says they're all here, but in the trailer I've heard, I didn't hear any of the new Doctors, and I definitely didn't hear anyone imitating the first three Doctors. So when it says they're all here, I think they're actually meaning 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which is still 5. That's still a pretty good chunk of Doctors there, with some assistants or companions like Leela, but it's a nice little additional thing, especially given the fact that we still don't know who all is going to be showing up in the big story at the end of the year, in the TV show. It's debatable whether or not these Big Finish things are canon, but they're very enjoyable. Heard great things about the Colin Baker Doctor episodes from Big Finish. I believe Big Finish is the one who puts those out. A lot of people develop a liking for the Colin Baker Doctor when they listen to those audio adventures. And then there's also the 8th Doctor, who we only got to see one time. He has some, I believe, Big Finish again, because there's another company that does some audio adventures too, but I think Big Finish is the one that does the more official ones. And he has some great adventures that really have helped round out his character. And he picks up a whole new companion in those adventures and stuff like that later ends up in the books and stuff. So keep an eye out for that. Um, Light at the End trailer is online, and just type in Light at the End trailer, and that should be coming out for audio so you can listen to it at work. And then, of course, later this year we'll be seeing the actual anniversary show. Another weird little thing is that, I don't know if weird's the right word, but in comic book news, Batwoman is going to be most likely marrying her girlfriend. So now that they did that with North Star at DC, the character North Star's gay and he married his boyfriend. Now they're gonna let Batgirl marry her, or not Batgirl. So sorry, Batgirl's so straight. Batwoman marry her girlfriend. Also, this is the one that everyone's all Twitter pated about, and it's so stupid. We're going to be looking at Wolverine and the comic book character Hercules being boyfriends and sharing kisses and stuff. The reason why this is so stupid is because it's not Wolverine, it's not Hercules. Okay, it takes place in a comic book where there's alternate dimension or reality characters, and this is Wolverine and Hercules from, like, Planet Gay. Okay, Dimension Gay. And so it's not the Wolverine that everyone has always read and all this. No. It's kind of like when they killed off Spider-Man last year. They didn't kill off Spider-Man. It was Ultimate Spider-Man. This is not the Spider-Man that you read for 50 years. This is not the Wolverine and Hercules that we've had for a long time. Now, admittedly, they have now killed off Spider-Man again, even though Peter Parker's body is still wandering around with the body of Octo Octavius in it, which is just... I don't care. Even if it's brilliant, it's stupid. So... this may be great. This may be a great story, but it's not Wolverine and Hercules, okay? It's Wolverine gay and Hercules gay from Gayville in Gaytopolis of Universe Gay. Okay, that's what this is. So, that's pretty much all the news type stuff I know of for Quick this week. That's also the thing. Quick. There is a game that I want to get everyone to look at because it's just adorable. I'm going to try to put a link up for it. And it's called Inner Vision. It's a short little online game where death challenges you to keep 3 people from committing suicide. I succeeded! My people didn't die. Even though I really thought I was going to lose that last guy. So I'm going to try to put up a link for that. It's cute, adorable. Give it a play. Death gets really ticked off when you manage to keep someone from committing suicide. Again, if you're looking for a good cause, Joshua Tree Feeding Program, that's www.jtfp.org. They help people with HIV/AIDS have food boxes every week. Matter of fact, they're doing that right now since it's Wednesday and I'm really late. Normally I'm doing this a couple of days before they're doing it. So give them a look-see. I'm going to probably just call this to a quick halt here because I still have to process this and get it up. Get it up. That's what she said. Or he said. Someone said it. So it still made me laugh even though it made no sense. I will be back again this weekend. I'm going to try to get back on schedule for Sunday, which means I have a lot of work on the computer to get that all up and running. And then remember, leave me comments, leave me messages, say what you want about whatever, especially about Superman, since that's going to be the next episode. Look on the audio podcast website for the Superman episode, and then in 2 weeks, you'll see me back here on YouTube as well as on the audio podcast. In case any of you need to know it, the audio podcast web address is moregeekthangay.libsyn.com. That's moregeekthangay, no spaces, all one word, .libsyn, LIBSYN.com. Okay, every week there will be an episode up there that you can download and listen to on your favorite portable listening device, or just listen to online. And then, as everyone else will be knowing, of course, I don't know where I got with that one. Brain shut down, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Every other week will be also available on YouTube. So, I hope everyone is having a great day, and hopefully my computer will be all good and pretty, and you will see me again, or hear from me again, or know of my presence again after this weekend. Yay!
Hey man, what are you really into, huh? The elusive butterfly has just tiptoed past my door. My buddy likes the Yankees. She says, hey T-Bone, what's the score? And I say, well, Reggie got 1 and 1 and 3 and 25 is 6-2-4. Is the left wing really pinko? Colonel Sanders, what a bore. You ask so many questions. What answer should I choose? Is it schizoid paranoia or just existential blues? The amenities of life have been chasing my soul, and my mind is transcendental, and I'm losing all control, and I'm sinking in the quagmire of illusions and Thoreau. I cry out, my name is T-Bone, as a hound dog digs a hole. You ask so many questions, what answer should I choose? Is this Plato's heebie-jeebies or just existential blues? Sailing, sailing, what is illusion, what is true? Sailing, sailing, over the existential blues. God bless America, and old glory too. May she always wave o'er us with the red, white, and existential blues. Hey, bobba-da-bobba-da-bobba-da-bobba-da-bom, ding-a-ding-ding, ding, existential blues. Hey, you can do what you want, play off my existential blues. My blue suede existential blues. I was on a quest to dream the impossible dream. Walking down the road, I was walking down the road, I was looking for the truth of life, and I came across all these little people all around me. They looked at me and said, hey, mister, are you tall? I said, yes, I'm tall, but who are you? We're little wonders. They looked at me with their big red bloodshot eyes and said, we are the lollipop kids, lollipop kids, lollipop kids. We are the lollipop kids. We like the music, watching I said, hey, we're little wonders. I'm on a quest to dream the impossible. Walking on the road, I said, hey kids, I'm looking for the truth of life. Where do I go? Who do I see? They said, slow down, mister. In order to find the truth of life, one must see the wizard. I said, the wizard? Well, where's this wizard old wise one live? They said, you see the big green glow in the dark house up on a hill? I said, yes, I see the big green glow in the dark house up on a hill. There's a big dark forest between me and the big green glow in the dark house up on a hill. The little old lady on a Hoover vacuum cleaner going, ow, that's not pretty. You little dog Toto, too. I don't even have a little dog Toto. Such predicaments I must forge ahead to dream the impossible. Walking on the road, I must find the truth of life. I said, but you know, kids, I can handle a big green glow in the dark house of a hill. I can handle a dark forest. I can handle the little old lady. But it's a very strange road you're sending me down. I've seen yellow stripes in the middle of a road before, but kids, never quite that wide. All right, tighten your shorts, Pilgrim, and sing like the Duke. All the yellow girl, come on, all the yellow girl, well, I got a little bit tired of walking down the road. A little bit tired of walking down this old blinding yellow road, so I put my little tired body off a little rest area, and lo and behold, a little field of little red flowers out there, and it smells so good. I was getting pretty tired, and it smells so good, and I figured, well, I'll just stretch out in this little field of poppy. Hey, what a strange dream, man, you know. Little flowers that smell awfully good, and I was very tired, and the old wizard's just going to have to wait, man, because I'm just going to stretch out again in this little field of poppy. Oh God, Dorothy's been copping to feel out herself, man. Along came this old man in a green Eldorado 2, screeched to a halt. A little short man with a big red nose, toking a bottle of Yukon Jack, strolled up to me and said, "Hey, son." I said, "Old man, don't bother me, Bobby." He said, "T-Bone." I said, "Wait a minute, this man knows my name. He must be the Wizard. You must be the Wizard. The Wizard of Oz. Why have you come to haunt me? A Wizard of Oz." I said, "A Wizard of Wise when I have been on a quest to dream the impossible dream. Walk down the road with a do-I-do. I got tired, puppies. A little bit, I've been through hell." He said, "Hey, son, slow down, relax." I said, "But Wizard of Wise when I've come so far to find the truth of life." He says, "Hey, son, slow down, relax." He said, "To tell you the truth, son." I said, "Wizard, that's what I've come to find is the truth." He said, No, son, you got me all wrong." To tell you the truth, son, how can I tell you this? I've been in this field of poppies a long time myself, and I've come to find, son, that the only truth in life is right here in this bottle. I said, "Wizard?" He said, "No, truly, son. In fact, I'd rather have this bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy." How profound, Wizard. Some girl with psychic powers, she said, "T-Bone, what's your sign?" I blink and answer neon. I thought I'd blow her mind. She's reading Moby Dick by some fruitcake named Herman. She's chomping on a knockwurst. Was the Duchess really joining? You ask so many questions. What answer should I choose? Is this really Butte, Montana, or just existential blues? Really Butte, Montana? Is this Plato's EBGBs? Is this schizoid paranoia? La 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 la, existential blues.
That closing music was Existential Blues by... Holy moly, my brain just went dead. But it's Existential Blues. You just do a search for that, you'll come up with it. I blame Larry Hama, comic books, for that one, because he mentioned a line that brought that right to my mind, and now my buddy Michelle and I are just heebie-jeebies. So, other than that, I know I tend to try to come back with something a little extra after the music. I got nothing. Bah.